Welcome to the ISDA AGM studio in Boston. I'm joined by Heath Tarbert, the president of Circle, which issues the USD stablecoin. Heath, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here, Scott. Great to be back with ISDA.
We're all dying to know, what are the greatest applications for stablecoins in the derivatives business?
Well, I think the biggest application is margin, right? If you think about the level of margin in the system, margin that you regulated as a former commissioner and I did as former chair of the CFTC, margin right now is subject to banking hours, subject to all of the old legacy systems. With a payment stablecoin like a USDC, it's effectively tokenized cash that moves 24/7. And because it's a smart contract, it's actually programmable. So think about the transformative effect, the ability to move margin back and forth everywhere within the financial system near instantaneously at the speed of the internet.
Fantastic. We do want to solve the important legal questions to make sure that we have margin reliably exchanged. We have settlement, finality, and bankruptcy. How are you attacking those issues?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, the Genius Act itself, fundamental piece of American law, passed last summer, makes very clear that if you're Genius Act compliant, you could be used as margin in the system. And so Congress, I think, really intended for all of those legal protections that, quite frankly, ISDA has worked on for decades, bankruptcy protection, qualified financial contract, to be there with respect to payment stablecoins as well. So we are working through all of those issues with both yourself and many of those members to make sure it's as safe and sound as it is in the current system, but of course, even faster and more protective and more risk reduction. You also mentioned settlement finality.
Yeah.
That's actually has to do with the underlying blockchain. I often think about the Amtrak trains. They're supposed to go, the Acela trains, 160 miles an hour. How fast do they actually go? Right? Less than half of that, probably. And it's not because of the train, it's because of the track. So the current blockchains that are out there aren't necessarily built for enterprise. Circle is building something called ARC, which is an enterprise grade blockchain. And one of the key features is sub-second deterministic finality to go exactly to the point that you're making.
All right, fantastic. Well, good luck. We'll continue the discussion about how stablecoins can be integrated into derivatives markets.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic.